G'day, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Butcher's Bubble podcast. Our guest today is Gareth from Victory Knives. Let's go.
Uh, yeah, no, all good, mate. It's yeah. Paris wise was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Oh
It
mate, it's a hell of
was
a trip, eh? So it's pretty cool thing to be a part of.
yeah, 100%. It's just mind blowing. I reckon it was really good. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was, and just a massive difference to obviously from San Francisco, but yeah, it was cool, man. I had a bloody good time. A couple of great nights out, boy.
Yeah, 100%. So when I stacked the bike,
Broke the arm.
yeah, so I fractured my hand just here in between, like where the thumb is and that bit. So watch this. So this is my right hand. I can almost go flat.
Yeah. Oh mate,
That's it. That's as far as I can get without shaking.
over the bikes, eh? Ah,
Oh man, it's meant to be healed by now, and it's because I'm constantly using it with the knife and I'm boning and all this and that. But I can't go any further with the knife without shaking. It's just
how did you get on? How did you get on with getting back to work when you got home?
I was bit of a bit of a nightmare trying to get back into work
Fuck, it
because you
would have
got
been.
after that mad experience, it was like constantly using the knife. But at one stage, I just couldn't bone anything for a couple of days because obviously you saw how swollen my hand was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was yeah, there could have been a lot more carnage that night, but certainly a memorable one.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It was
Yeah,
great. I wouldn't
absolutely
change it for
brilliant.
the world.
Yeah, buddy.
Paris,
Okay.
Paris didn't claim, it only claimed a bit of me, not all of me, unlike some other
Yeah,
areas.
yeah. And James ended up with a big cut in his arm from that same
Mm.
particular bike ride. Yeah, there's a few fallen soldiers that night.
We still got up and charged on, though.
Yeah,
That's how we do
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck yeah.
How'd you go with the jet lag and everything? Because you
Yeah,
stayed
I
an
left.
extra day.
Yeah, extra day, and then it was an extra day, and then we had the awards dinner, and then I was
Mm.
up and gone the next morning. So yeah, so I was up and out of there. So yeah, it was I mean, it was a bit of a. I know I've got comments around how the judging and stuff went at the end and who won and whatever, but I think a lot of people have been pretty, there hasn't been heaps of chat about that, but yeah, hey, it was a good event at the end of the day. It was just kind of crazy that there's so much French victory in there, from my opinion, for what I saw. But
No comment, really, is there? Is
well, I mean, I'm just going to start shit if I say something. So no, I mean, hey, good on them. Hats off. You can't be a sore loser. What's happened. You can't change it now. So yeah, you just got to bet on. But I think like the level was incredible from everyone.
Mm.
I just get a little bit confused around how much points are allocated to finishing your proteins all off versus how much is actually goes into flat out display. Like what level of in the background is being judged to those things. Like because you put your foot the shoe on from being in a butcher shop and you got a guy that's throwing away a whole lot of trim, for example. Well, he's going to get a fucking warning or a hiding or something.
Mm.
Whereas that how's that okay if you're competing like from a butcher skill set point of view? So yeah, I mean just little things like that. But yeah, I think that's the when something's judged, there's always going to be that aspect to it. I think.
No, 100%. It was the judging was like in their French style, wasn't it? They were very meticulous and really just nitpicked a lot of it.
Well, yeah, I mean the interesting thing is that the country's own judges couldn't judge their tables, so um, yeah, and then the judges just hand in their score sheets and they go into a room and the judge and the scores are done and yeah, a Scottish fella told me that it was judged. They were told to judge with pencils. So
That's that's not correct. It should be a biro or whatever, and then there's
should be a
permanent.
fucking
There's no.
it should be a fucking tattoo going on a bit of fucking pigskin, brother.
Yeah, 100%.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's just, especially the way technology and shit is these days. But anyway, we don't
yeah.
need to talk about negative things. But no, it was a wicked event, bro. Loved it. Awesome to see butchers from all around the world. Not having been to that's the second WBC I've been to, and man, the level just stepped up massively. So like across the board, the Canadian guys, the Icelandic guys turning up and delivering what they did. just
Mm.
everyone really, man. It was a really big step up. I thought the Kiwis did a massive step up from what I saw in San Francisco and
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Yeah, it's all this.
Mm.
I was there. And yeah, so but yeah, it's cool, and I think so much more competition there, and interest, and the Europeans flavour came into it, which is also good, like the way they support sport and chants and stuff. Man, it was a cool time. I was stoked to be part of it. It was rad.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was the Icelandic team. They definitely deserved like scoring wise what they got. Like their table was phenomenal, and I love them boys very much, and I've always will support them, especially because they didn't have an apprentice in theirs either.
Yeah,
So like they
it's
only had like the main event.
yeah, it's interesting, bro. Like, I mean, I think around the world, like but it's kind of different countries recognize the qualification or not, depending on where you are. So, you've got, I guess, meat cutters become butchers in the US without really a formal qualification. Um,
Mm.
in New Zealand, there's apprentice programs, and in the UK, there's a whole, and it's different everywhere. So, and then for what essentially is a lot of private operators in an industry to be able to come together and form a national team is
Mm.
actually a really fucking massive feat. Like, I think that's kind of the part of it that is really really fascinating for like I'm going tomorrow night here in New Zealand to the NBA, the National Butchery Awards or finals, which is where all the young butchers and apprentice butchers are competing to become the person that'll turn up at whatever the next event is. And there's a teams event and stuff on, so that's on tomorrow night, just actually not far from where I live. So yeah, it's like here we are. Fuck, well, I guess it's 2 or 3 years out without a date or an event or a location, to my understanding of the event, and the New Zealand side of things getting organised. So yeah, and I think it just helps lift everyone's game in terms of getting their shit together with trying to make it a fair selection process, how they pull a team together, how teams can actually come together and practice properly before an event, given geographical challenges. So yeah, it's no mean feat, man. Especially when it's all done for the love, not for the money.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're so correct, and it's good that to see like New Zealand are doing that already, like to get their team together, get their trials, and everyone to really step their game up, man.
Yeah, well,
Like I
well,
hope these.
Michelle, when she came back, she was straight into running regional competitions like 2 or 3 weeks after. Like all the local young guys are coming to compete, and there was, I think, 5 or 6 events around the country. I managed to get along to a couple of them. Yeah, it was good, man. Some
She
good talent coming through.
was she was incredible, Michelle, that whole time. She just did not stop. She just got all the footage. She got everything that she could.
Oh, mate,
She
yes,
was just
organised
so
day.
dedicated. Oh, she was
Yeah,
so dedicated to it. And it was nice to actually meet her as well. And I was like very excited with that because,
yeah, yeah.
you always hear these names, especially you, like you and I have been on and off talking. And then to eventually meet you there at Victory, like at there, and you're the owner of Victory Night, like, oh,
Oh, yeah,
like, this is
Sacramento. It's
incredible.
the Sacramento and Paris exactly that cool for me.
Mm.
Like putting Instagram gram handle names to people's faces, mate. It's like, oh, okay, that's you. Oh, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's very humbling, mate, for me. And like you jump on a plane and you go over there with just an open mind, and you don't know what's going to happen. You're just going to meet some real cool people and people that are passionate about the industry and wanting to keep pushing it along. And you never get sick of those sorts of discussions.
No, the conversation wasn't dry.
Nah,
Like,
nah, never is, but
it's so much fun doing that stuff.
yeah, bro, absolutely. Yeah, it was yeah, and I think like even like DC, and yeah, tried really hard to catch up with them because I spent a little bit of time in the UK before that the event, and for whatever the reasons couldn't catch up with them, but seeing him there was awesome. And yeah, man, it's yeah, it's like we're all humans, it's good to put the face to that, shake a hand and give someone a high five or a slap on the ass or a cuddle or whatever it is. And
Mm.
yeah, so yeah, I'll be doing my damnedest to get to every other one while I still bloody can, mate. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, it was nice to see DC finally made it as well. He had a bit of a rough time, but shout out to
Yeah.
him. But he turned up. He was ready, fired up, and he was just locked in, wasn't he? He just loves it. He just loves it.
Oh, mate, yeah, I mean, fuck, I mean, the man works hard. Like he made a real effort. Like it made me feel bad getting around to talk to the amount of people he did in such a short period of time. Like I was like, fuck, I don't want to eat up too much of your time, mate. You got a bit of a hit list there, so go and get after it. So yeah, good on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I can speak to you
Good on him.
anytime, mate. Go be a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
butterfly.
Yeah, mate. No, no, it's good. That's and he's been a big help to spreading that the lounge stuff over into the UK and just what he does for the industry. Like if in New Zealand there's an award called the Christie Award where great servants to the meat industry get awarded it. If he was in New Zealand, he'd be certainly a guy I'd be recommending. Like he's just from what I've seen of what he does, it's mind blowing and he can never knock a man with passion that he carries around with him for what he does. It's a sight to be seen.
Yes, 100%. And if you do recommend him as well, mate, I'll vote for him because he's done a lot for.
Yeah, yeah,
He's done a
yeah. I
lot
mean,
for
yeah,
everyone.
someone should recommend him for something. So no, he's been an absolute champ.
100%. Right, should we kick this off?
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
Right, for all those listening and watching, Gareth just gives a rundown of who you are and what you do.
I'm Gareth Hughes, and I own Victory Knives, which is a little knife manufacturing business based here in Auckland, New Zealand.
Yeah, amazing. Great knives as well, FYI, and also sweet merch. Cheers for this one in Paris, mate. It was great.
I can tell you, I came home with an empty suitcase, bro, but that's what always had been so sweet. Always back
Well,
extra.
yeah, I was like, you only got 2 shirts, and you're like, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I can
Yeah,
give
that's all
out.
I got left. Yeah, I had each one when I started. Yeah, so yeah, it's cool.
Right, I want to run through with you leading up to Victory Knives coming in. What were you doing beforehand, and where were you, and all this? Like, paint us a
So
story.
yeah, 10 cent, yeah, 10 cent tour. So I spent, I don't know, I sort of left school with an empty lunchbox at 16 and got into doing pre-trade mechanics and ended up working in an exhaust shop for a short period of time. Cut the end of my finger off pressing exhausts. My boss spent most of the time upstairs smoking pot and not really fucking showing much interest in the business. And I had a friend that was telemarketing and said, "Oh shit, mate, you'd be good at sales and you should come do this and you can earn $1,000 a week talking to people on the phone." I was like, "Fuck, that sounds a lot better than the." I think I was on $5 an hour or $4 something because I'm an old guy. It was bugger all back then,
Yeah.
and so I went up and did that and never looked back from a sales point of view and did really well and kind of went through a bunch of, quite good sort of commission only roles as a young fella working territories for different companies selling stuff. And that was like a real fast track, I guess, into business and what makes stuff tick because ultimately, sales is the thing that greases the wheels everywhere. Like, any person in any business is effectively connected to sales in some way, shape or form, farmers grow
Mm.
animals to sell them and butchers buy animals to cut them up and sell them for more and selling your stuff. So yeah, um did that and then I before so they spent some time in the about 14 years in the liquor trade, a vodka company 42 Below, which I was involved early doors and that got sold to Bacardi. I had a very small shareholding, nothing to retire on at all, and as a young fella, I had to keep going, obviously, and yeah, then ended up in another business in the craft beer game for about 9 years, and I sort of got to the point I was sick of working for a board and reporting to other people, and feeling like I was putting stuff in for others, and really wanted something myself, and it was one of those serendipitous kind of moments where I literally had a letter written to resign from my job just to look for something, and I got a phone call from a mate who like I hadn't actually spoken to for a little while, and he's like, "Oh, hey bro, how are you? I got something. I got the perfect thing for you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Victory Knives is coming on the market," and I was like, "Well, how'd you know I was looking to buy a business?" He goes, "I didn't, but I just thought of you immediately when this came up," and I was like, "Fuck, that's weird." So I sort of said, "Well, fuck, get me in front of the guy." And John, the previous owner, I went in and saw him as the first sort of person on a Saturday and spent kind of 8 hours in a knife factory, asking questions about everything, as you'd imagine when the place was closed, like, scoping the place out and trying to understand him and, the history. I knew the knives from using it for lidding and, cutting up deer or whatever, but didn't really know the brand and started to think, what could I add to this, blah, blah, blah. And I got to the end of the day and I said to John, what sort of guy do you want to sell this business to? And he said, a guy like you. And I said, oh, well, great. And I made him an offer subject to, could I afford it? Due diligence. So of course, so I went away and we sort of signed an agreement subject to those things. And I went away and kind of went to the bank and said, hey, how much money can you lend me? And it was like right on the line. Had, an investment property in the house we lived in and put it all in and said, and they're like, oh, it's tight, and but I can add heaps to it, and they're like, yeah, we don't look at that, we look at the history, we've got to cover the risks. So got it done somehow, at 4 weeks of due diligence, and then John was supposed to sort of stick around for, I don't know, a couple of 3 months or just whatever, just to, for a handover. I started on the Monday, I left the beer business on the Friday, started at the knife factory on the Monday, and he fucked off to Europe on the Tuesday. So, which actually was the best thing that could happen because I learned by doing. So, and then when I was sizing it all up, I thought to myself, like, the widget I used to kind of manage was beer and it had a shelf life. The widget now is a knife and it doesn't have a shelf life. So, what can I add to it from my skill set point of view in terms of telling the story and the history of the business, etc. And and that was 8 years ago now, just about. So. And it's been an awesome journey. I've just absolutely loved it. And it's, kind of my three decision-making pillars of the purchase were, does the business interest me? B is, what can my skill set add to it? And C, does it commercially make sense on paper? Were the three kind of key things. And yeah, it's been an awesome journey ever since. And, I love it. It's, I love hunting, I love fishing, I love meat, I love butchery, all the things that I make and sell knives into is kind of things I kind of like, really, with the exception of some vegetables because we do a few produce knives.
Yeah, I've seen those. They look great.
Yeah,
You need to bring
that.
you need to bring out like a wooden magnetic like kitchen set and just put like all the colors and like the sizes and everything, like the bread knife that you guys have and everything.
Yeah, good show. Should we
Like
take some notes here, Ant?
that's all right. I'll take 10%.
Good boy. Yeah, so that's sort of that's kind of the fast track thing of I guess how I got into it. So and how I ended up owning it. So it was just I mean I've always been a bit of a believer in things are meant to be, and if you put your mind to something, it'll happen, and the right thing happened, and I a lot. Whilst I am the owner, I more look at myself as the custodian of it. It's a 98-year-old business, and
Mm.
I'm fortunate enough to be only the fourth owner of it in that period of time, which is pretty cool. So, obviously, pretty tightly held and over lots of interesting generations and changes that it has been through too.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Like from you taking it on 8 years ago now to being recognized worldwide is such a great
Mm.
achievement.
Oh,
Like, did
mate,
you ever think?
well, I pinch myself, and I still do, bud. Like, I guess social media and the internet and all that makes it the world a smaller place, right? Which is cool, and the amount of unpaid and free advocacy that I receive from people using the products on a daily basis continually humbles me. And it hasn't stopped for like years.
Hmm.
And so a key thing I do is try and relay that message back to my production team about how important it is. And we, say to them, we actually, according to the butchers, we are making the best butchers' knives in the world. And here's what they're saying about it. And it can sometimes be quite a sort of a thankless, loveless job working in a factory environment without seeing the glitzy stuff that might happen on the outside, but really making, that keeping that messaging real to the guys going back is really important because our QC is really good. All the way through the process, people give a fuck, and that's really what does matter. And we've got so many human touch points. There's a lot of machines that go into making knives, but every single one of those machines is run by a human, and it's checking it throughout. So, but to get it to where we've got people talking about it and everywhere around the world, and like it blows my mind, like it really does. So yeah, I think you've got to stay humble and true to what got you there, and just keep telling them. I mean, I like it. It sounds almost a wankerish thing to say. Like, of course, I'm going to say they're fucking great knives, but I come from probably the most least qualified position to say it because I own the company. So of course I'm going to say that because
Yeah.
it's my business, right?
Yeah.
But someone who uses them for 40 hours a week is way more qualified to give a decent opinion on it, and that's really all that happened. I mean, Aaron Waters was responsible
Mm.
to getting the knives into the US, right? And that happened because he was watching a home kill video done by a guy called Nick Vukovic in New Zealand, who's fucking a most slickest, fastest, incredible home kill butcher that I've sort of seen really live and worked with, right?
Wow.
Guy's a fucking machine. Like, 3 pies at lunchtime and he'll have 8 cattle beasts in his fucking the back of this truck in no time, mate. It's just like, and he just works. Anyway, Aaron had seen his video on YouTube that he put up and commented and said, "Fuck, what knives are you using?" He said, "Oh, Victory Knives," and it was actually the previous owner. He rang up John and said, "Oh, I want to buy some knives." And John said to him at the time, "Oh, well, if you want to buy knives, you've got to spend $1,500 minimum to buy them." So, and anyway, so he bought the knives and over he went, and I obviously bought the business and rung all the customers straight away and had a really good chat with Aaron, and he's now a great mate and a guy that I talk to probably, a couple of 3 times a week, and just the most wonderful man in terms of his passion and pride of the meat industry and what he's been through.
Mm.
And he's helped alongside many others get that out there, and just all of a sudden there's been this world that's growing in the social space, and people keep talking about how great it is, and they discover them and they love them, and it's like I just love it. Like it blows my mind, mate. Like, it really does. And we're a small little business with 15 people in it, making 3,000 knives a week, give or take. And about half of those go into New Zealand and half we export around the world. And most of it gets consumed in meat processors where nobody sees anything online. So, like then you start distilling it down from there. You've forgot the volume side of it. And then, but the butchers around the world thing's really growing. And it was a space the business was quite weak in when I bought it. It
Mm.
was very heavy into processing. And I kind of thought, well, it's no different, right? Like, there was some butcher knives, but it was just an area the business had never focused on. And, the butcher shops in New Zealand, and many of them still are, full of Victronox and F-Dick and whatnot. And I thought, well, it's got to be a space here for us. And then started supporting the New Zealand butcher team and the apprentices coming through. And all of a sudden you can get some generational change
Momentum.
of thinking. Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's interesting, like you have, it's our product's the shiny new toy in England because it hasn't been there for long, right? In
Mm.
New Zealand, it's fucking 98 years old, so your great grandfather used it, so it's not the new thing. So it's kind of interesting. You go into different markets, and there's those little nuances that are different. But yeah, I think it's got to be authentic and tell your story right, and that's a really important part in business to be able to do that. And when you're shrouded with all this amazing history, you've kind of got all this content there. It's just about how you keep delivering it and get it out there, because we actually make the knives. We're not
Mm.
just buying a blade in from China and stamping a name on it and going, "Fuck, this is great," and putting a fancy fucking Instagram reel in behind it.
No, it's brilliant. It's absolutely phenomenal. The knives they've used. I'm just a bit interested because I don't know anything about like the materials and everything. Like,
Yep.
so take us back to you learning about making this steel or importing this steel or getting this steel from a local manufacturer.
Yeah, so well, I didn't. Well, my whole thing was, when I stepped in there, I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to be the guy to break a business that's 92 years old when I bought it. Like, what a fucking loser I'd be, right?" So there was kind of a little bit of that
Pressure,
spinning
too much
around in my
pressure.
head. Yeah, yeah, like fucking hell. Everyone else did a good job, and then I came along. Um, no, I think the thing was, it's like making Nana's recipe for a cake. So from
Mm.
the how we made it, how we manufacture it side of things, I changed nothing because that clearly had proven itself over a really long period of time of being fantastic. And yeah, there are things that we have enhanced from some better machinery and maybe some more QC checks and other things, but fundamentally the process is exactly the same. Um, so then for me, it was just around getting my head around all the key parts in the manufacturing process, who the suppliers are. And if you take it from the raw material, we buy our stainless steel from the same place that sells the stainless steel to Victronox, to FDIC, to shitloads of like any big knife manufacturing brand. And this company specializes in selling steel for knives, scissors, scalpels, and needles. So they sell steel for sharp shit. So, and obviously you need a really pure steel to make sharp shit, right? I was trying to give
It's
you
one
the
way to
straight
put
talk
it.
on it. Yeah, I mean, we'll cover it off. And and so so by so so you look and it's been very consistent. Like the business was using Sheffield steel before that fell over, and then that, and I believe that was, I think, off the top of my mind, 70s or 80s, and then it moved to German steel.
Yeah.
um all of our machines come from a company called Berger in Germany, who make specialized grinding and cutting machines for hardened steel, because that's what obviously all sharpened things are, sharp stuff is. um stuff. And and because we're thrashing them and running them so hard, you want good quality equipment. Like, there's no Chinese crap equipment in my factory. Like, you pay an eye-wateringly large price for the burger machines, but they are really good. Yeah, so kept the recipe the same, and then just worked out how do we make more. Which was, the addition of some new CNC grinding machines,
Mm.
more people, shifts, and the COVID kind of, and I look back now too. The COVID one was an interesting one. Like, I bought the business and started in May. Was it May 2019? And COVID happened in what, 2021, 2020? It was about 18 months
2020.
after something. Yeah, about 18 months after I bought the business, maybe 9 months. And like, everyone's freaking out. There's this mandatory close of businesses, fucking go home, and I'm like, well, and there's some information floating around, but everyone was kind of making shit up as they went. And I'm like, well, and then it said, oh, if you're essential, stay open. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm essential. Basically, all of the knives I make go into the meatworks and cut throats, so people are going to eat. And pretty soon after that happened, a couple of the meat processors sort of put out statements saying, um, you need to keep going because we expect supply to happen because we're still killing, blah, blah, blah. So in that little business park or industrial park where the factory is, I was the only business open. And
Wow.
like, I think we were kind of fortunate as a team. Like, we still had the ability to go to work, but we had to break the team into two groups and do, a 5 a.m. to 11. And it sort of became the start of how we ended up doing a double shift, but we compressed the day down a bit.
Mm.
And yeah, and business was really good in that time because people were just sitting at home at eating, and I hadn't, and I decided to teach myself how to build an online store.
How did
Just as
that
a bit
go?
of a sideline. Yeah, good. Like, well, now it's humming, right? Like, I mean, I sort of set it all up, worked in with a designer and that, and did it on a big commerce platform, which is like Shopify or anything else.
Mm.
And because I was getting phone calls from people as we started to do a bit more, people seeing some more marketing stuff saying, "Oh, I'm in Wellington and I wanted a pink handled steak knife," and I'm like, "Well, fuck, I don't know where to send you." Like, I don't know where to go. So the online thing was pretty obvious thing to do, and now that's grown to being, quite a good little piece of the business, and
Mm.
continues to grow. So, and it closes that loop a little bit more too with your social media stuff. But I only sell into the places that I don't have distributors. So, like in Australia, for example, my local distributor does it. In the UK, it's Jarvis, for example. But then, I've just now opened up into about 32 other countries with the website, everything from Sweden to Norway to parts of Asia and places that I don't have distributors. So it's actually, yeah, and when people are buying knives, like, I sent one filleting knife to somewhere in Norway the other day, and it was like a $50 knife, and they spent $50 shipping it. And then I looked up where they are because I was fascinated on like Google Maps Street View, and it clearly looks like a dude that likes his fishing in fucking Norway, somewhere close to over to Iceland type of thing, you know. Like I was like, looking, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
you see the Antarctic, so the fish there was just incredible.
yeah,
Oh man.
exactly. So yeah, no, it's been an interesting ride, mate, and I think most importantly, you know, like I've just got big passion for it, and um, passionate about the industry, and it's just an industry full of real cool people, like salt of the earth types, you know. Like there's you know, I've got great uncles and stuff, and butchers within the family, and you know, most butchers are always a good bastard, you know. Like there's some really good people, so nothing pretentious, nothing wanky. It's just, you know, good buggers that see
Just
it how it is.
yeah, genuine people as well. I was going to ask you about the COVID time as well. Like, obviously, you said that you're essential, and people were buying knives, sitting at home and eating because you guys were in one of the heaviest
Oh,
like
mate, it's fucked.
lockdowns.
It was
Besides
stupid, mate.
Melbourne, that was like the most locked down city in the world, and then you guys were generally hot on it from the very beginning. And I was like generally worried when like how everyone
Oh,
would be coping.
fuck, it came out of dictatorship, mate. Like, it really was. It's just people walking around the neighbourhood and told to stay away. Like, this mixed messages coming out. You had to try and figure a lot of it out yourself. I remember the first morning when the thing came in. I drove to work for the start of that first shift, and it was like, I think I was starting at 5 that morning. And
Hmm.
I'm about a 20 on a busy morning. I'm 20-minute, half an hour drive away from where the factory is. I saw two cars going down the motorway. Like I could swerve down the motorway. Like I just had it all to myself. It was fucking weird. It was like this apocalyptic, you know, like what's going
Yeah,
on here? Yeah, and then you know, like yeah, lucky we could keep going because fuck knows what I would have done if we did, you know, didn't, because you still have mouths to feed, and you know they're just making stuff up as you go. But yeah, it turns out now, you know, we got it really wrong, and there's all these inquiries, and you know, New Zealand was supposed to, you know, make it look like we did this really good thing, and we're saving all these lives, and you can make arguments either way, right? Like there was saving lives, but there's also costing people their life or their livelihoods out of it. So you know, natural selection
become
happens when disease comes along, doesn't it? You know, especially on a farm or
yeah.
something. It's a bit more kind of, you know, people don't have the, you know, it's like, oh, well, mad cow happens, let's burn the cows, you
Yeah,
know?
get them out.
Sort of,
Let's maybe not
yeah.
feed cows to cows. That's what causes it.
It's a few challenges with that. So, yeah, so
Yeah,
no, it's yeah, interesting time, but, you know, glad we're through it. And, you know, I think you just learn and makes your business a bit stronger as you do that sort of stuff too. Like, I felt for I really felt for a lot of the butcher shops because these big supermarkets were allowed to stay open to feed people, but the butcher shop that would be parked out the front was made to close. It's like, why are you fucking over the guy that really needs it right now and giving it all to a foreign-owned multinational like Woolworths, or you know, a privately owned big superstore? Like, how do you? Yeah, so people just started to take the piss more and more and more as the different lockdowns came and went, and yeah, it was all in the rearview mirror now, though, bro.
yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah.
Troubling times, and you know,
Mm.
now we're smooth sailing, and we've done heaps of other interesting things in between as well.
Yeah, now the wheel's just got a whole lot of its other own fucking problems, but anyway, this stuff we can't fucking fix it, eh?
Let's stick to what we know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll try.
I do love a conspiracy, but we'll leave
Mm,
that for a few beers later.
juicy. A few
Mm.
coffees.
Oh yeah. Well, this isn't really coffee; it's more a bit of vodka.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
Got to
Just gonna
kickstart
cut.
the day.
Jeez, yeah.
The because the one of the main things that stand out about your knives is they have a very unique shape and the handles themselves. Because you've got a variance of different handles, and they're all designed in a certain way. Like, where did the inspiration for like those handles come from?
Well, I mean, I can't claim any of it. I inherited a lot of it. That 115 dimple handle, I can tell you a funny story, but it's not a funny story. It's a story that fucks me off, but it's worth sharing.
Yeah,
Um,
go on then.
It just happened today, so it's still a bit raw. So that 115 handle is something we have intellectual property on. Like, it is quite a defining handle to Victory.
Mm.
Um, and it's been around. So, like wooden handles were banned from meat processing environments in 1976 due to their porous nature. So, Victory were one of the first companies to start injection molding handles around
Mm.
about that time with pretty old tech. And 115 dimply handle is or ribbed handle. There's lots of different words for it. I call it
Rib
the
for your pleasure.
115. Yeah, I call it the 115, which means fuck all to most people, but I run with it all. I get what they're saying anyway. So
Yeah.
we've been running that for a long time, and then the program got developed. We've done a little bit of new tooling work, but tooling work to create handles is like really expensive because the tools are massive bits of metal, and you can only really get it. You got to get it right the first time, and
Mm.
we sort of now cater with a change in demographic within processing plants. Mostly is we kind of got like a small, medium, and large handle option because you might have a big Polynesian mitt, you might have a Anglo-Saxon mitt, and you might have a Vietnamese mitt hanging onto a knife doing work. And they're all three different sizes, and they, hold on to a knife differently, right? So
Mm.
that there's a bit of work been going into that space. But the story I was going to tell you today was I discovered this fucking guy who I bought a few bits and pieces off, like accessories and whatnot, and he's gone and like robbed my handle design and got it made OEM in China. I'll probably I'll probably do a post on my Instagram about this at some stage, pointing out the difference between a real knife and a fake knife. But it's
Yeah.
like fuck, like from my point of view, fuck you, motherfucker, and get your own ideas. Like because it just, it's our thing, and then they've turned up in Australia through some different distributors, and like, what sort of quality do you think of knife do you think you're going to get, and if you're going to pay $12 for it?
Oh, not good, mate. Not good at all.
But
Not
when it's got
good.
a white bumpy handle that looks exactly like mine, you just it's just
Yeah.
anyway.
You'll be like, $12. Gareth is off his head. I'll take 10 of these.
Yeah. Well, you just get it home. I mean, yeah, and just when you look at the difference of them, like, like we get like when we make a knife, right, we get a whole sheet of steel. We laser cut all the blades out of a 2.5 by 1.2 meter sheet of steel. So if we're making
Yeah.
a 6-inch boning knife, we'll get, top of my head, I think it's something like 398 blades out of it.
Mhm.
Get the blades into the factory. We heat treat them at 1,050 degrees. They go into quenching oil. They go into a medical grade freezer and get snap frozen overnight at -70 degrees. And then we bake them
Whoa.
once at 180 and once at 200. So it's all part of the tempering process to get the right hardness of steel, which we're looking for 53 to 54 on the Rockwell scale of hardness.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the idea behind that is it's soft enough to take an edge, but it's hard enough to hold an edge. It's kind of that happy medium, and in the middle. Like if you get a shitty Chinese made cheap chef's knife, you'll be looking at a Rockwell hardness of like 60. So it might stay sharp for a while, but it just never steels up. You can't ever get the feather into it at all. Like it was just all is diminishing, and and then you got to grind the fuck out of it, try and take the shoulders off. It's pretty hard to do. Where was I going with this? Steel, yeah. So the steel comes in when I compare it to this fake knife. Oh, so once we've heat treated it, then it goes into the CNC grinding machine, and we're starting to make the taper in the blade. It's not sharpening it, but it's taking what might be a 2.8 mil bit of steel at the top and shaping it down to then be able to put your edge into it. What
Mm.
these guys have done with this knife and how it's made cheap, and it's why I want to point it out eventually, is they've done none of the CNC grinding. So you've got effectively, if you're looking down the knife, a square piece of steel, and then they've just put this rudimentary short little grind in it at the bottom to create the edge. So
Yep.
like it's just going to wear out real quick, and you're going to have to grind shitloads of material off it to keep the thing going. It's just done cheaply. You can even see at the bottom of the blade, it's sort of flat, and then you've got the sharpness going, up the blade.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
but I just don't. Yeah, I just wish people come up with their own ideas. But I suppose what do they say? Plagiarism is the greatest form of all flattery, Ant. So we must be doing something right if cheeky little cunts in fucking Vietnam are trying to copy my shit.
I fucking love it. I can't wait to see this post as well, mate. This is going to be incredible.
I need to fucking think about it while I'm not so emotional about it.
So
I
what
could
you
not
had
come.
to do, you had to, for that particular knife handle, you had to get digitally like licensed so that it's your
Well,
digital
no, because
property.
because on our 115 handle, there's 4 bumps. So it's 18 bumps wide and four
Mm.
bumps high, right?
Yeah.
and we've actually got some intellectual property cover for it, just for New Zealand, and which is fine. But how I discovered this knife was I was at my distributor's quarterly review meeting this morning, and there was a box of shit sitting on one of the desks, and I said to Steve, who's a good bugger, and there's who runs it. And I said, "Oh, I said, what's all this shit here?" And he said, "Oh, it's sent from our." He said, "It's all from sent from our old mate over in Vietnam." I was like, "Oh yeah." And then I was looking through the box. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I pulled out this knife that says just Dickinson, I think it's called, and with this handle on it, I was like, "Oh, I can have this."
Oh,
And he's like, "Yeah, there's no way we bring that shit in." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And yes, so then I went back and did my research. It's just one of those things that pop up in your day. There's not a heap you can do about it, really, but I
mm.
think these days I think I might get a bit of support online if I make a post about from a butcher's point of view too, like just be aware not all like I did a post on it the other day just randomly about steel, like not all knives are made equally despite them looking kind of similar. There's
Mm.
actually a lot that goes into what makes a knife good or bad or cheap or expensive,
Yeah, no, definitely. I did see that like fleetly because I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of on Instagram again. But the past
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
months have been a bit crazy here, especially in the summertime in the UK. It's just like I ain't got time, just trying to catch
yeah,
up with
man.
anything. But now
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
you gotta live your life.
yeah, you got to live a little bit, and not online as much, but
Yeah, handy.
you. But especially family is quite important now. Like we've got a 2-year old, and there's heaps of studies now that say being on your phone it has a dramatic impact on them and
Bad
everything as
example.
well. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. But
And then so reliant on them, mate. Yeah, no, I mean, I've got 3 kids, and what are they? 12, 11, and 9. But yeah, same thing, man. They're busy from day dot, from big babies until they leave. But you got to put time and energy into them, and is work really that much more important at times? I don't know. You got to eat. You just it's like I said, it's plagiarism is the greatest form of flattery. Just leave it at that one. And yeah, I mean, you can't change it. You can try and educate on it, but yeah, it's interesting with social media, you're able to kind of maybe do that now too. And the people that are buying my knives aren't fucking fools, so they're pretty quick to know what's good and what's bad when it comes to the number one tool that lives in a butcher's hand, which is the knife. So, it's not the first time either. There's been a couple in the past, but they get found out eventually or might get into a processing plant based on,
Mm.
price, but doesn't always work out so well.
I feel like you should be proud of yourself that you've actually got someone wanting to do something similar along those lines. But then on the other
Yeah.
hand, it's really hard to hide, especially with social media, especially with, like you said earlier, that the world is so big, but because of social media and that, it's become smaller and more, you know, together.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, like I said, you're doing something right. So if people are looking and talking about it, I mean, the same guy started bringing out pink sets and whatnot, which, I started doing a long, long time ago. And, even Dick started bringing out pink stuff. So,
I love that.
we were
I got a
sort of,
pink
yeah,
breaker. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that
I
pink
mean, hey.
breaker. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people love ripping the pink, mate. Like, and it's not an exclusively, and it shows that sort of interesting take on it from like from the Asian culture is like a lady's knife set. Like no, it's not, bro. It's a pink knife set. It does just because it's pink, it doesn't mean it's ladies.
Some of the most manliest men, and you can show them as well, use pink knives.
Oh yeah, it just cracks me up. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. You missed the brief, pal. But anyway, nah, it's all good. So, nah, things are good, mate. We're just we're ticking along. I've actually just come back from real mega. We had a 6 days down Stewart Island, right at the bottom of New Zealand,
Yeah,
like a hunting and fishing trip, and oh man, it was beautiful. It's just a untouched part of the world. Just kind of as kind of untouched as it gets, really. Well, even in New Zealand, which is people argue is
rare.
pretty untouched, but yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, you
Because you're quite
gotta
the
do.
hunting advocate, aren't you?
Yeah, I love it, mate. Yeah, it's kind of I was had a couple of hunts on that trip, and I just love being in the bush and hunting deer and getting in the zone, and it takes me right away from everything, and your mind's only focused on one thing, and yeah, it cleanses the soul, mate. It's not about killing stuff or cutting it up or anything. It's just about the experience you can have and getting out of the day to day and stepping back, and you can think and about stuff that matters or doesn't matter, or put stuff into
Mm.
perspective and reminds you about what you go to work for, really.
It also grounds you as well to be out in the middle of nowhere. Just you, just the equipment that you need to survive for the next certain amount of days, and what you can bring back to provide for the family as well. It's like
Yeah,
it
man.
is a nice euphoric feeling of going back to your ground roots.
Yeah, we're so lucky here in New Zealand that it's also quite accessible to do, So it's so closed off and hard to do, and almost quite
Mm.
elitist in many places now around the world, Like it's
Especially here in the
which
UK.
yeah, I know.
Mm.
That's what I'm sort of referring to. Like it's, to go for a deer stalk over there, you've really got to be on, safari parks and with outfitters and paying someone to show you where to go. You can't just like in New Zealand go into some, Department of Conservation land and, with or without a permit, depending on where it is, and go and chase deer around. So yeah, it's good, mate. Love it. Yeah, it's good. I had actually a funny experience. It was probably the most scariest experience I've actually had in all the years of my hunting for something so fucking random. I was I'd been sort of watching these beaches because down there on Stewart Island they've got whitetail and they're pretty elusive through the bush and you got to be really quiet and they come out and feed on like a bit of seaweed and different things on the beaches in the morning. So I was kind of surveying these two beaches. I didn't see fuck all and I was heading back and I was up this ridge and like I would have been, I don't know, about a K from the beach and up to 300 meters of elevation, stalking through the bush quietly. And I sort of looked to my left and about a meter away from me, I saw this movement and then I got this, "Rah!" And it was a big fucking sea lion.
Oh,
And there's heaps of them down there, right? But I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like a K into the bush, just hanging out and screaming at me. Like, fucking hell, I got a fright. Like a good proper roar at you. Like when you're not expecting it. Like you dialed in. Fucking Jesus. Just about accidentally shot him. Yeah,
what,
like I was
what was he
like,
doing up there?
oh, fuck knows. And then and then you start taking notice, and I was like, yeah, there's some animal tracks here, but a lot of them are quite flat. So obviously they're fucking, stealing their way up
Wobbling
these
up.
tracks and hanging out. This motherfucker screamed at me, oh, holy shit. Got a big fight, but yeah, it was a bit of a hard case.
That's
Never a dull
awesome.
moment. Yeah, so yeah, I wish
There's
I'd
no
filmed it, but
there's no fish up that high, and like you're on
yeah.
land as well. What's he
Yeah,
doing
they
up there?
just and they're really territorial, so they get their spots wherever they hang out. And off, yeah, fuck, I just happen to fucking randomly through this thick bush and fucking hello, mate, how you going? So
Yeah, what's up?
yeah, what's up, man?
You do. I can't remember if you guys have snakes or venomous snakes there.
No, we don't. No, no,
No,
we don't.
didn't think so.
No, yeah,
You're
no,
very lucky.
yeah, I totally. I've had a couple of hunts in Aussie, and I'm always fucking looking down and scared about what's
Mm.
around me. So yeah, it's yeah, there's lots. Everything can kill you in Australia, it seems.
Well, yeah, it's just the common leaving your boots outside, and you're like, all right, and then you either got like a really small venomous snake or a venomous spider, so you just pick your work boots up and you chuck them real quickly, and you just look, you're like,
It's
all right,
actually
we're
quite
okay.
incredible given that, like it's a 3 hour flight away and like if you sail over there it can, depending on how fast you're going, can get to Australia in 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
Mm.
It's amazing that none of the many multitude of poisonous venomous species you have in Australia haven't found their way to New Zealand more than, like to be as pest free as we are on that side of things. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's yeah, because you guys are just inundated with venison, aren't you? It's just non-stop. Like they're just
Yeah, it's a
overpopulating.
bit. Yeah, in some areas for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. There's quite a lot more conservation and measurement of it going on now for trying to control herds and make sure there's better heads coming through and there's the right amount of feed in certain bush areas and stuff. So yeah, I mean they're all introduced pests or species from various kind of government leaders over the years where they've gone, hey, here's a gift. Roosevelt gives us a whole lot of fucking elk, which become the wapiti and blah blah blah. It's quite it's funny like the tar came from someone and Cammy came from somewhere else. Red deer were liberated, but
Mm.
yeah, they've done pretty well in New Zealand.
Not here in the UK, like especially where I am down southwest. It's like since COVID, they had their numbers under control, and then COVID, now they're just a plague. They're just going
Oh,
through
really?
farmlands, houses. They're just ripping up people's like vegetation and everything, just coming through and just wiping them out. And one of the guys who does a lot of stalking here, He's just like, you could literally just take like a seriously big minigun and just mow him down. And he goes, he wouldn't even do it, wouldn't do
Are they
anything.
culling? Are they like the as the conservation department culling them, or
Well, no, because they had to stop for 3 years, and then now they're like, we're just so inundated. It's just like the numbers are
oh,
just,
true.
yeah. So like, even if they do get those figures and the like the sponsorships or whatever to like get this done, it's just not going to do anything now. It's just crazy.
But can you, if you own land and you've got deer on it, can you shoot them over there?
I mean, having a gun is pretty impossible to get in the UK. Like, there is a lot more restrictions. Because like I was
I
looking
thought you
into
just
it.
went down to Brixton, innit?
There's plenty up there. I just
Get
don't want
you,
to get caught.
get yourself a shooter there, mate.
Fucking hell. Yeah, because a while back, Luke and I were like Luke was looking and I was looking at doing like home kills, and because we had some money invested, and then just trying to get like a gun itself that's dedicated to it is just like it's impossible, and you
Oh,
got to pay
really?
thousands. Yeah, unless you're like very seriously invested into like stalking and doing the home kills and everything. There's just no
Yeah.
point in running through the loops. It's almost like
What about,
Australia as well.
can you go and buy just a captive bolt?
Yeah, but you still need a license. Apparently, you still need a
Really?
killing. You still need a killing permit. You still need all these other bits and pieces. You still need to run through the loops. You still need your HACCP. You still need insurance. And by the time you've already done it, you're already 40K in the hole, and you're just like, right now, we're going to source farmers or
Yeah,
whatever.
and the crazy thing is if you're on a farm, you can just go out with your gun, shoot one in the paddock, hang it up,
But
butcher
it's
it,
then,
put it in the freezer, and no matters a shit of a difference. So as soon as you're selling it to someone, there's all these hands that touch it, make it fucking
yeah,
stupidly expensive. Like it's
yeah.
really is the biggest challenge in all the meat industries around the world is just compliance costs going up through the roof. Checking everything. So yeah,
The checks and balances are just fucking phenomenal. It's just, yeah, it's not even worth it half the time, because I owned a shop and it's just like before even opening up, all these insurances, you need all these
Mm.
policies, you need to do all this bit. And then by the time you realize, like, I've already lost 15 grand, that 15 grand could have gone to, a new, like, smoker or something to do with my shop or to just even just get the head start on getting like a staff member in. And you're just like,
yeah.
or even an apprentice, like apprentice being 15K a year, let's say. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, red tape, eh? And then you go to other countries and fucking they just can't eat the Australians to feed themselves, right? No, none of
Mm.
that shit matters. Like, it's kind of like that whole story around, you know, the carbon neutral plan of New Zealand, and like, yeah, it's great to try and be the market leader or the world leader and it be clean and green, but fucking, you got countries in Africa that can't even feed themselves, and you think they give a shit about plastic in the waterways? No. Like
No.
they've got bigger problems. Like it's good that, you know, people make an effort, but we're 1.2% of the world's population way down in the middle of nowhere. And as long as China are popping more knives and putting holes in the ozone layer, then, like what really difference is it going to make? What change until, the big people change? But,
Mm.
maybe that's the wrong attitude. But, sometimes it's, yeah, it's sort of, you got to take it back, strip back all the layers of bureaucracy out of shit that seems to be happening, around us being health and safety being a classic example of that for
Mm.
everybody. I know it's a big issue in the UK. I was just over there seeing plants, and they've got the same anal set of rules as what they do over here. And I get it from a food hygiene point of view, absolutely. But
Yeah.
how over the top some of the health and safety shit is in terms of logbooks and safety registrars, and they're like, it's just
Yeah.
like someone hurts themselves. They're looking to they're more interested in who they're finding as opposed to trying to mitigate it happening again.
Yeah. Taking like, measures to, prevent these things from happening. But yet it's just like, where there's the blame, there's a claim. And you're just like, fuck's sake, man. Like, let's just get
Yeah,
on with
yeah,
it. You've done something. There's something, if there's some faulty stuff that's been reported, yeah, sure, you've got a claim. But if you were just on the night on the piss, mate, and then you've come in hungover or whatever and you've slipped, like, look, I don't want anything, I'll help you, blah blah blah. Like, that's the way it should be, but everyone just wants something for free.
yeah. And then you and then you see them building 70-story building in the Philippines, and they're using fucking bamboo as as the scaffolding.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
someone dies, you got another guy that comes to work. And I mean, yeah, that's not fair either. But like somewhere in the middle is probably the right answer. Like
yeah.
be sensible, be safe, but let's not overdo it.
But those Asian cultures is like everyone's expendable because there's like that's what
Yeah,
their
seems like
attitude,
that.
isn't it? That's what their
Yeah,
attitude is. Where here in the Western world, we're just like, all right, here's us, and here's all the levels of safety that we need, and in between there, you need all these checks and balances, and you're just like, fuck's sake.
it's my job now. I'm entitled to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
100%. But
not
it's not.
not working for it.
No, not doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
this
But
this. Mm. Oh, right. This has been incredible, Gareth. Thank you so much for your time, mate.
hey, mate, it's a pleasure. I mean, I know we spoke when we hung out a whole lot over in Paris, and it was yeah, and you sort of said, yeah, I'll have you on. So I'm a man of my word, and I'm glad I can come on and hopefully add some value to your podcast, mate. And like you're a good man at what you're doing for the industry too, buddy. And it's yeah, cool to see young keen fellas like yourself hardening along and bringing people with you, because lots of people got lots of good things to say about you, bro. Right? So yeah, happy that I actually got to share a few beers with you.
Yeah, definitely, mate. You know, especially seeing you and everything, but finally putting a face to the name because, you hear your
Yeah.
voice, oh, what the fuck's it for Thursdays and Fridays and whatever else. And I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah. What's it for
what's it?
Fridays done on Wednesdays? Because I keep forgetting. Yeah, yeah. It's the
I'm just
problem with
like,
smoking pot. Smoke too much pot, bro. The fucking short-term memory loss gets me.
well, I'm screwed then as well because in my teens, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it
you're
was
good at
brilliant. I
this,
was just
aren't
like, I had to just hang out with you and obviously support, the local neighbours as well as
you?
like
Yeah, man.
support Australia and everyone else, man. It was just incredible time and definitely more memories to come.
Yeah, I think the probably the thing that confused the most people at that whole event was your full Icelandic attire, because people were like, fuck. Like he was saying to me, he's like, what's his like if they didn't know what's his he's got kind of like a hybrid Australian English accent, and he's wearing the fucking Icelandic uniform. Like, who's he? Like, and I'm like, that's Ant. He is an Australian living in England, and he just happens to have the Iceland kit on. Oh, still don't understand, but okay.
Everyone who knew
It's
me
great.
as well, everyone who knew me was just like, of course, of course. And I'm like, yeah, mate.
Yeah, it was great. It's really good, mate. Yeah, it's well felt.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
I wanted to do Sacramento. I wanted to dress up as like support Ireland and dress up as like an Irish person. But
Yeah.
the timing between having a shop and that, I just
Maybe
I,
you could
I couldn't do it.
maybe leading into the next WBC, you can get people bidding for your services to represent them.
It's not a
Like
bad shout.
get you kids, you put yourself out there and say, hey, like this was me last time as the Icelandic ambassador. What are the offers this time? Like who wants another guy out on the floor doing some hustle?
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that some
Yeah,
PR work for you. Get some blogging
yeah.
done. It'd
Or
be
change
great.
it
I
up
could do.
every day. Like who fuck, Jesus. Now he's Spanish. Fucking
No
hell. Look
Spanish.
at the guy. Jump into your telephone box and make a change.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah, there he is. Brilliant.
Oh, brilliant, man. That's awesome. That's actually not a bad idea. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
get it out there.
fucking up.
You might even have me to the point that you're like getting changed 4 times a day if everyone says yes.
Oh, I'd be running through like 20 something countries, just constantly, just have the layers on, just strip
Yeah,
out.
need to bring a whole wardrobe team with you, mate.
Well, no, they can bring the uniform and I'll just hang them up in like the hotel room and then go, right.
Yeah.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Spanish. At 3 o'clock, I'm Icelandic.
Yeah. Tonight, Michael, I'm going to be from Belgium.
Yeah, I'll wear my little hat.
Exactly. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, it's good. I
Right.
appreciate the invitation. Have you got some questions you got to ask me to finish this off, do you?
No, not really. I was going to say, no, I appreciate your time, mate.
Okay.
Of course, I was going to say, I need you to come on. I finally put a face to the name.
Yeah.
And it was, great memories and we've got plenty more to come, mate.
So absolutely, mate. And yeah, we just got to. I think collectively, I think you asked for one of the quotes I like. This is not my absolute favorite one, but one that I think's a really good one is, a rising tide lifts all ships, and I think this global butcher community seems to be coming closer together and more galvanized, and I think it's really helping the industry become a great option for young people getting into and seeing quite a cool pathway, as opposed to it being maybe that, oh, I became a meat cutter because I fucking didn't pass maths, or I've ended up in a meat plant because I couldn't fucking read, or whatever it is. So, and there's lots of great stories of successful butchers out there now running shops, and they were illiterate at school and whatever it is, and dyslexic and everything else, and it shows that what if something that you're passionate about that you can apply yourself to, you can be successful at no matter what grades you got at school. So that's yeah, and I think having the community smaller with social media and all those things makes a massive difference to that, and shows people that there's a pathway and they can see the events happening and all that sort of stuff. So it makes it a bit more aspirational. So yeah, I feel like it's the building blocks of putting a good future together for it, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely feel like introducing these like podcasts and the WBC for a major instance as well, getting everyone to socialize and put them
Yeah,
outside of their
man.
comfort zone, because you might not be a, like you might be a shy person who's just like, right, I'm going to this event to, socialize. And by the time you realize, like 2 hours later, you've met like hundreds of people who you've all followed and tagged and liked each other's posts and everything. And it opens up that community for acceptance. And the acceptance on
Totally.
it is just incredible. And that's what I love about the community so much.
And just the willingness to help each other too. Like, I mean,
Mm.
like I think of it as like your butcher shop might be 10 miles down the road from the next guy, and potentially you could be competing for a customer base, but you're still willing to help each other, like, and
Yeah.
I see that everywhere. And it's just, I think it's a cool thing. People are keen to pass on the knowledge, and
Mm.
ultimately they're really passionate about it, and they want the industry not to become dominated by big supermarkets and big industrial operations, but still have that craft butchery flair going, which is really what made it what it is today, like from
Mm.
the old foundational stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And yeah, there's so much more access to good information from around the world, and it just continues to leveling up everybody's game, and
Mm.
that was massively evident, at the last event, and every other little event I've been to since. People are just getting better and picking up more skills and seeing more stuff from others. So it's a pretty cool thing to see.
Yeah, no, it's all accessible now, and is literally is just sending a DM and just talking. And if you're not sure about something, ask. I did it to everyone. I did it to everyone. Simon Taylor, Ben Tyndall, like all of them boys. I was like, "How'd you do this?" And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
there we
yeah,
go."
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, "Should we be friends?" Yeah, we should be
Yeah,
friends.
yeah, yeah. It's good, man. Like, like, hey, if you don't ask, you don't learn. And I've always
Mm.
been a big proponent of that. Is if someone talks at me, it goes over my head. But if I'm interested, I ask questions, and then it goes in. So, I think that's
Mm.
again, everyone learns a different way, and you got to be practical sometimes with how that. Then that's probably typically how a butcher kind of is, because practical skill.
Yeah, all tides rise ships, mate. Like you said,
Yep,
it's
rising tide
great.
lifts all ships, and
Yeah, exactly right, baby. Right, should we do some guest questions, mate?
go for it.
Right, number one. What's the belief or habit that's been a key to your success?
I would say I think it's attitude is everything. Have a go, and make sure there's some joy in it for you.
Right.
And I think if you're brave enough to have a go and you do it with the right attitude and you enjoy it, then there's every chance the fourth thing will happen, which is you'll be successful at it. So that's why when you hear about kids chasing a job that's the highest paying, inevitably that won't ever happen for them. It's the guy that becomes really passionate about, what am I looking at around the room here? Bench tops, and they do a good job of developing bench tops and love selling bench tops. Ultimately, they'll be really successful. So
Mm.
that would be the answer to that one, bud.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. It's like seeing the Australian Brisket Board Company. Those guys. He's just so passionate about making these wooden boards, and you're just like, to me, obviously, we know like boards and everything are, part of part of the setting that we need. But this guy's just gone flat into it and just like, this is the best. This is the grainage. This is all this and that. And it's just like seeing that passion as well. And exactly how you said it. You got to go in hot and heavy and passionate, not lukewarm, and just run of the mill kind of bullshit.
And be brave enough to have a crack. Like what's the worst that you can have, and you can fuck it up. And I think that's a lot of people get held back at that point where it's like, oh, all they got to do is take that last step, and like, whilst it might be the hardest thing you'll do, it could be the best thing that you ever did as well.
Yeah, no, you always got to back yourself in any situation, like you've done as well. You've just gone from one bit to another and just gone a knife company. Sure.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
go.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't a knife company owner until I was. So you figure it out, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. You got to learn pretty quick. Sink or swim, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next question. 3 guests to invite to dinner, dead or alive, and why?
So that was a tricky. I mean, when you sent that through to me and prepped me on that, it was kind of like, all these things fly around in my head, and like, I don't really give a shit for celebrities that much. If I could have 3 people, the first one would be the one person out of my 3 that would know would be Winston Churchill.
Yep.
Just because I'd love to quiz him on his way of leadership in such a tumultuous time. He is also the founder of the word on Winston Victory, which is very famous and something I've stolen from him. So, just to say thanks. And just how he went about galvanizing a country and bringing together a whole lot of other countries to really completely change the outlook of the world, because otherwise we could be having this discussion speaking German. So him, and then the other 2 would be 2 of my best mates that took themselves checked out, would be the nice way to put it on a podcast, because these words can sometimes be brought up the wrong way. Just to, I guess, go through, just to see them again, really, and I can have a beer and tell them that they're fucking cocks and maybe punch them in the face, both of them in the face, probably. But and to give them a hug and a kiss, I guess. So those would be my 3. Yeah, it'd be Winston, Timmy, and Johnny.
Nice. I heard it on the podcast that you did.
With Tim,
like,
the Brave and the Wild. Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's by all accounts, it's been quite a good podcast for him. I mean, it's again, sometimes hearing a real person's story or the sort of pseudo celeb stories can, people like me don't get as many hits, but probably resonate closer to the people that are listening to it, because I'm just the common man, like the next man, if you know what I mean.
Well, you're a very special man in our world, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You've done your favorite quote, which is amazing. I really like that. It was,
well, that's my second favorite one.
Yeah.
So the one I gave you earlier on, which was "Rising Tide will lift all ships," but I would say my probably the number 1 would be attitude is everything.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got to go in with it positive. Got to give it all you can, and smile as much as you can.
Yep.
Because there's enough miserable people out in the world now, and there's enough negativity in that. Fucking keep going, push on.
And I feel like that segues so wonderfully into what your next question is going to be, because the answer to that is what you've actually just said.
Oh, really? So, what question do you wish more people would ask you?
Well, it's not a question. I just think people should smile at each other more.
Yeah. I should probably change that a little bit.
Well, no, but it's such a simple gesture. Like, I go walking every morning with a couple of boys before we go to the gym at 4:45, and if whatever person we see in the street, all of us give it a good morning.
Yeah, nice.
And you always hit back with some positivity, like, and when someone just blanks you or gives you a shit look, you're like, why? Like, try and share a bit of positivity around. It might just be that thing that lifts people that little bit, and you don't know how or what they could be going through, and it just gives them that little lift. So, it's easy to be nice, than it is to be a prick.
Yeah, also, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
There you go. Yeah, as I frown. Maybe I need some Botox, mate.
Nah, you're all right, mate. Just put that beef fat on you, or just rub it away.
Tell her, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it's good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, last question is pretty important. Is aliens real?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't have like anyone because that's still a question. Is I mean, like when you look at the size of what we know is out there, there's got to be something else out there. That's my only rationale behind it. You know, there could be doppelgangers of us living in another one of the planets out there, you know, that are all, and we're pink and yellow, for example, but we're doing different things. But you just don't know. Like, I mean, there's got to be, and like, I guess that's what makes the world a bit of a mystery. You can't, you know, we're on a real busy quest as humans to try and solve everything faster than we can. But I think a bit of
Mm.
mystery and it will always be important to keep the imagination open and flowing.
Yeah,
Can't
100%.
all become can't all become AI robots.
Nah, that's boring, mate. Knowing everything, it's
Yeah.
having all that like knowledge on demand. It's a bit boring. It's like
Yeah, I
why
mean
not try and figure it out?
it's such an fascinating and interesting space, and I've invested a lot of time into educating myself in it in the last 6 months to a year. And it's been a really beneficial thing for a whole lot from a business point of view. But I think it's here to stay. You've got to invest into learning it, and not hate on it, because it's how do you manage it with your kids, and how do you make it work for you as opposed to get left behind by it. So yeah, it's another whole separate discussion on itself, but quite a fascinating thing, you know. Like, you can talk to your AI buddy and have strategic discussions if you need to.
Mm. But you don't. I feel like if you were talking to them all the time, you wouldn't learn anything. You're just having a conversation in a sense. It depends how
It's quite
like what you.
amazing though. Like, you can teach them now how you want to be responded to, which I found really interesting. Like, you know, like, stop trying to please me and be a cocksucker. Like, try and challenge by thinking. Try and give me other options.
Mm,
And that's the whole part that you just go, wow, this shit's pretty amazing. Like,
mm,
because you've got so much access to so much rich information easily. Whereas, you know, I think an old school Google search is a history and an advert for something, whereas the AI response is so much more detail and depth. It's
mm,
quite mind blowing what you get out of it. And I've had some real incredible examples, even just with machinery at work, really like old. I'll tell you this one example was my hollow grinding machine is a burger machine, and it's called an HC2 from 1986, and it uses a PLC, not a CPU, because it's old, right?
yeah.
And it shat itself. And all I did was went into went into AI and put burger HC2 1987, and it came up and it said it's either one of these four things. I was like,
Mm,
it's number one. And then it told me all the problems with the machine, what a retrofit would look like, what that would cost, what parts it needed, boom, 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 like within 2 minutes, right? And I put the
mm,
same thing into Google, and all I got was a whole lot of adverts from old machinery auction houses that have either auctioned one sometime in the last
mm.
15 years. Two completely different answers. And then I actually went and got a quote from a local company to fix up and retrofit this machine. And ChatGPT said it was something like 27 grand. The quote came in at 26 grand.
It's
Like,
pretty. It's pretty
and it
accurate,
was
isn't it?
like, and I'm there talking to this machine tech saying, "Oh, this is all the stuff it needs," and he goes, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah," like totally ratified everything I'd already think. And I came into the discussion like I was a bit of an expert on this fucking thing, and like, bro, like, like it's a 1987 grinder, PLC grinder machine, like, not a little bit, but like,
Oh
so,
man,
yeah.
it's,
It
for
won't
a
cut
business
meat though.
owner,
It won't cut meat, bro. It
it's
won't drive a
incredible.
knife on its own at the moment, at least.
No, not at all. You'll be sitting there pushing them like.
What am I doing here? Fucking hell. I need help. So, nah, much appreciated, bro. It was bloody good to see you, and I thank you for having me on today. It's good. Keep up your good crusade, mate, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the Northern Hemisphere if you're down these ways.
Yeah, we're hoping to come over next year, just trying to plan out some stuff, and but I'll be going
Cool.
to Australia.
Yeah.
I did say to Reese and Brad as well. If I can cut Australia by two, like by a week, come over and see you guys because he's in Hawke's
Yeah, man.
Bay, Reese is, and I forget where Brad is.
He's just
Um,
down. He's down Te Awamutu. He's an hour and a half away or something from Auckland, where you'd land. Yep. We're going to
yeah,
tour,
so
mate. If you want to come over, we'll go for a cruise around.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to come see you, see the factory,
Yeah,
make
man.
DC really, really fucking jealous as well. And
Yep.
FaceTime him while we're in the factory and that, just to
I'll take
throw
you
it at him.
fishing. I'll take you out for a fish if you come over, mate, as well.
Mm. It's all in the works now. It's just like trying to put it together, and plus, got a 2-year-old. It's a 30-something hour flight with a 2-year-old. That's like,
I've done it. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, not that far. It was to Canada, but yeah. You
yeah,
think
close
pretty hard
enough.
about it.
I
It's
think,
got a lot. Like,
I
yeah. And
think
now,
I just,
like for years, I was like, for those people on the plane, like, shut up there, baby. Arr.
Mm,
And then you've
mm,
got your own one, and you're like, yeah, it's hard for them.
yeah, it's hard. Been stuck on a tube in the air at 30,000
Yeah,
feet, and this is
yeah,
all the TV and games that you've got, and the food
yeah.
is endless. Yeah, we get it.
And they don't know how to equalize, so the head feels like it's going to blow up the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Oh God, why do Oh, I
I'm just
forgot
trying to
about
give you
that.
real chat.
Oh,
Don't worry about it, mate. It's fine.
oh, now I'm stressed.
You'll be right, mate. It's just
That'll
a
be right.
moment of time.
Yeah, I'll
So
be right.
easy.
All
Hey, well,
right.
cool, man. Well, thank you for having me. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon, big guy.
Yeah, no, nice. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a lovely week, mate. See you,
Talk to you
everyone.
soon, man.
Bye.
Boom. Yeah, See you, mate.
See you, mate.